What's up, everybody? It's your girl Macy here with Bouyon Pulse, and we're doing a special in honor of Bouyon Day. And I'm sitting here with Mr. Krishna Lawrence, or more popularly known as Dada. So, Dada, tell us. We know you are a big name in the music industry, and we want to find out a little bit more about Dada. So, give us some background story.
No, that a humble youth from Bafesit, you know, grew up pretty simple. Like I just say, humble from humble beginnings. At a very young age, according to the cliche story that everybody has, yeah, my fascination with music, always like music in general, instruments, but I was more specifically, fascinated with the like I remember my dad used to have a stereo with different with multiple components, the
Right.
amplifier, crossover, equalizer, and so on, and a record player and cassette, double the cassette and thing, and so every time they used to be playing a lot of Steel Pulse and Peter Tosh and them kind of things. So every time he jam in his music and thing, I see we they're going and in equalizer tuning that, and my bass up and what I acted at a low frequency. I didn't know that that's what it was called, but so
You liked it.
so he's telling me, well, too much bass, thing. I tell him, I like to hear it, man. I so be fascinated with watching the speaker go in and out, you understand, and hear the feel the air from the baffle and stuff. I used to put my ears on in the baffle and hear the bass. I was like, oh, okay, and stuff like that. So yeah, I was fascinated with the technical side of music and thing, and it just really advanced and I grew into it more when I would say like 13. I remember getting my hands on Fruity Loops. It was version. It was better version. As a matter of fact, they just released it and thing, and I was like, I was it's like what, but people can make beats like that, and like, you can, you know what I mean. So it's
Yeah.
it was little things like that, and yeah, that from there is like the interest just transformed into something else, that and I've never looked back since.
So that was your first take on music production, but what made you say that's it? That's what I want to do with my life.
Actually, I used to DJ too,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I used to DJ Dada. I remember being in the Heineken DJ competition a couple of years and thing. So I always had a fascination for music in that sense, but like joining it, tempos, technical things. I am very fascinated with technical things. Anything technical, that's my thing. You understand? So it's being a DJ that make me realize, boy, you know what? I should go in, I should make beats and those kind of things, You understand? Because to me, I wanted to do more than just mixing a song or whatever, So again, here comes back the same Fruity Loops thing. I used to take songs that I used to be DJing with and put them in Fruity Loops. And in some cases, I had a program called Nuendo. I remember getting a program called Nuendo and Wave Lab from Steinberg Wave Lab. And I used to chop songs and you could record samples.
So you're like a doctor in the lab cutting up songs.
Yeah, man. That's pretty much what it is, man, And that's where that the whole thing just again transformed into something else again. It's like, because I didn't plan on anything, it's just when I get before it just keep showing me more things I could do, you understand? So I just jump full inside of that 100%. And I never look back yet.
So you chose Bouyon from day one. Is that because it's a matter of patriotism, or what exactly about the sound that you just decided that that's the way you wanted to work with?
Well, I'm a huge WCK fan, yeah. You know what I mean? I grew up listening to CK, and I always again come back to the fascination. You're going to hear that word plenty, yeah.
Yeah.
That fascination is more than just a liking.
It's an obsession then.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, And I used to want to make what I was hearing WCK playing. You know what I mean? So I didn't choose Bouyon, so to speak, like, oh, let me just make Bouyon. No, it's like Bouyon is a part of me. I wanted to do what I was hearing.
Okay.
And so Bouyon was WCK, I wouldn't say Bouyon, but WCK was who I used to listen to a lot of. And I didn't know that you could do anything with the music. I didn't have any plans for it then. I mean, I was just 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? And then one thing led to another. And then I said, people start to hear about my beats and stuff. I remember once I had a beat that I make, and to me, the song is so nice. And to me, and I remember Walkers was working down by GIS them time. And I remember he used to come, I remember waiting for him an afternoon and tell him, go up to him and introduce myself and tell him, I have a beat, I want him to hear a song. I want. And he was like, yeah, man, Dada, man. Okay, all right, I'll come and check you, man.
And how old were you at that time?
I was maybe 13. Walkers was always telling me that, Dad, I remember you, boy, I remember when you had come and tell me, yeah. And he did come for true. And listen, and I was like, what, boy? Boy, you good, man. Yeah, man. Let's keep up the work, man, and stuff like that, That's the first time I really make somebody hear, something I felt that I needed to make him hear. That's to show you how I was fascinated with CK. Walkers, right? So, yeah, I guess I never look back since, it's forward,
Forward movement, indeed. So, in your opinion, how would you say is Bouyon music identified? If you had to tell a person who, is not too familiar with this sound, if you had to explain to them the components then of Bouyon music, what would you say that is?
That's a good question, I think everybody would have their own opinion. So I like how you phrase the question. How would I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bouyon really this is twofold for me, yeah. From a technical standpoint, Bouyon music is really identified by the beat. You know what I mean? I think we have a unique beat that we alone can play that beat like ourselves. And so anytime you hear a Bouyon, you can tell it's a Bouyon because it have a way it does go. You understand? And then the second way about it is really Bouyon really is a cultural thing. There's a lot of cultural influence in the music in another.
For sure.
You know what I mean? There's how we talk in the way the way we just express ourselves, and
Indeed.
that also can be one of the identifying agents of Bouyon. But I'd most say generally it's a Dominican thing. So, but Bouyon more so. Bouyon is in my opinion, the only genre of music that Dominica has created, and Dominica has created a few genres. For a small island like that, we pack a heavy punch. So Dominica has created a few genres, but Bouyon music is the only genre in Dominica that Dominica has created that really have that cultural influence. Like the culture impacts the music a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So how we talking, our slangs,
Indeed.
everything.
Indeed. I remember even for myself, in high school, it would have been things like I started saying all of a sudden I started to use father. Nobody taught me how to speak like that, but that came from hearing Triple K's go easy father, and that's where it came from. And now I almost kind of think of a word I would use in place of that. I think so. I agree with you there. It's definitely a cultural impact.
Yeah.
Take us back to your formative years, when it comes to working with bands like Triple K and, other music groups like Bushtown Clan and, the others. What was that like?
Yeah. So before the Triple Ks, I would say that one of my influences, well, I can tell you about my influences in the music. WCK is number one. And then there is Bushtown Clan and DJ Cut. You see, DJ Cut and them used to have a kind of thing doing it for rhythm. It's a rhythm thing.
Right.
I was just like, how them man thinking about that? Like, how they can make that go with that? And again, the fascination / obsession. And so, when you see something going in my mind, so I have to get it. I tell you that. So, yeah, man. So working with them was always something that you see, anytime I'm fascinated with somebody, I want to work with them. It's like a challenge for me, you understand? So it was always my dream to work with CK. Yeah, that was a dream of mine. Like, boy, I used to make beats and I used to check, like, boy, how CK going to play that? Boy, CK, boy, all I think of is CK, and stuff. And then it's the same thing for Bushtown, because all the Bushtown vibes came around is like, them men from Buffett State, really, a lot of them from Buffett State. And they used to be hanging out by my bridge in Buffett State and things. So I used to hang out with them. I was the youngest amongst all them fellas, them man older than me and things. So them man see me as a youth with talent and things. So they kind of embrace me, and show me stuff, teach me different things. And more so they also were fascinated with my beats, checking like if you do anything on your own and stuff like that. So that really helped me a lot. And then there's Nursery Crew. Nurseries who were I would say that was my testing ground. That was my lab rats and them, because that's my brethren and them that we grew up together in Buffett State, watching football by the boulevard and thing. So, we used to just vibes and make our own version of what we were hearing as well, So we had songs like Peanuts and Sorty Desa,
Right.
Kalalu, but no, whole heap of things, Jolly, R.I.P. Jolly, I must big up Jolly, Black Boy, Wati, and the rest of the Nursery Crew, family and things. So them were really who that helped me to experiment on them, you know what I mean?
Get you.
And then you transition into the triple Ks of the world. You know what I mean? I met triple K in 2004-5. Yeah, and then actually I met Benji first. And then Benji herself again, fascination. Benji, I like my rhythm and she's like, boy, yeah man, I go, I do some of them things and da. So and then Benji introduced me to the rest of the band, Kendall, Joffrey. Well, I knew Joffrey and them from Buffett Second, they were Buffett and thing. So yeah, then the rest of history, then we made history of Triple K. Yeah, and that was it,
So what did those environments teach you when it comes to things like, musical arrangements, the crowd energy, in response to the music? What did that teach you?
Yeah, so I learned a lot, because I'm a person I always pay attention to detail. I have a keen eye for detail. So when I make a beat, or a song or anything, I always listening to and paying attention to the reactions of everybody that listening to it. You know what I mean? So it could be the artists themselves, the people, anybody. Once you're in the area, in the room, the beat player watching your reaction to see, you know what I mean? And likewise for the crowd, it's the same thing when we used to play, or we used to we play it in the public and so on. For me, I like when I drop a beat, I want to that you have to twist up your face like something smells.
Like you smell something bad.
Yeah. If you don't have that kind of reaction, it's like scrap that. That's how vicious I was in that thing. I was ruthless when it comes to on my own self. Oh, yeah, I was ruthless when it comes to that. If I had to get that reaction from a beat, that going in the trash. But the environment helped me because you see, I end up meeting guys that are different from me, that they are skilled in other areas of the game in a different way from me, you understand? And I'm a fast learner and I always learning. I like AI, The AI don't even good like me yet. Yeah, because boy, I just read and record, you know what I mean? So I remember meeting, different musicians and stuff like that. I watch how they playing, and I was like, all right, especially if I like you, if I like something you're doing, then I go into implement that into my thing. I see it as, stacking my arsenal with different tools to use weapons, right? Yeah, so I've been doing that over the years, going around the world. If you want to say it in a way like that, going about the place, just collecting the rings like Thanos. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been doing. So yes, it helped me to develop. Working with people helped me to develop, definitely.
All right. So how would you describe what the Bouyon music sounds like now, as compared to what you have heard in the past? You mentioned a lot about, WCK. So how would you compare that to what you hear right now?
Well, but that's a good question, because a lot of our Bouyon changed because of us, Bouyon, well, I would say us. Us meaning people like DJ Cott, because DJ Cott and if you look like Bushtown, DJ Cott, Clockers, Partners in Crime, they had a different kind of Bouyon playing. But you see Bushtown and DJ Cut, they were playing a thing called Reketang. That's what they used to call it. It's like a hybrid bouyon already. It's used a lot of hip hop and on the rhythm of the bouyon, you understand?
Okay.
So they didn't used to make songs like how Bouyon, like how WCK and Serenade and PIK to a certain degree. And those bands that used to make songs traditionally with the arrangements, with the brass, the band chorus, this and that. They men didn't used to do that. It's just rhythm, it's just let the rhythm play. Press the machine and put the thing on it, and you know what I mean? So they see you have that influence of the hip hop and the R&B on the bouyon. That's where I really started. And for me now, I was very much influenced by that too. You know what I mean? So I started making my rhythm and then it was already embedded in me to do those kind of things and stuff. But when the thing is now, it wasn't really mainstream. So I was one such person that kind of make it become mainstream in a sense because I guess because my rhythms and them was sick. You understand? So everybody sort of my thing. So it just becomes something. And then working with Triple K, it kind of helped to push that too. Because Triple K was one of the vessels that was utilized to shift the sound of Bouyon a lot. You know what I mean? Into what it's sounding like today. So to your question, I would say that it Bouyon has changed a lot because I had a different vision for the music than what that was done. I guess
That what existed.
yeah, you know what I mean. I wanted Bouyon to become international. I was always hearing Bouyon music being international, and to me, for it to become international, it needed to go the direction it went. So
I get you. So at the time, in the earlier days of the Bouyon formation, what were some of the things that were considered non-negotiable? Because I know you just, let us know when it came to Bushtown Clan, they created their own, sound or their own version of Bouyon. But what was, a non-negotiable for Bouyon bands at the time?
oh boy,
What did you just have to have?
yeah, the band chorus. When I say a song start, and it have to go papanata, papanata, it had to have that. It had to have that. If you don't have that, man, go check like, oh, you can't play this. It wasn't easy before, It wasn't easy, You check, them man was ruthless, with youths like us, the older heads in that game, Them man they like to say you can't play. That's how they were seeing it. So that was a non-negotiable. That was one non-negotiable, the arrangement, the band chorus. You see the band chorus? Mm-hmm. But then me again now is one such person I watch it that. You understand? Because, and how that happened is when I started working with people overseas, especially Guadeloupe, when the artists in Guadeloupe and them, they used to always tell me that the band chorus does kind of drag the music. But to me now, band choruses are part of the thing. But them man checking our, yeah, so them they don't like it, it's like a thing. So it's me just make me them chop it out. And so when I see working in them in Guadeloupe, we did New Star band chorus, and Bouyon was huge in Guadeloupe, and so that influence of that version that we created, like a byproduct,
Right.
end up working so well in Guadeloupe, and it trickle back down into Dominica now. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, we even replaced so many tones. What I used to do now to give the music a difference, because I still had a kind of thing for the band chorus, so I used to use other type of tones to play something in just to give it a difference. Like a lot of them tunes fellas using now, and I don't know say it's me that create no kind of freestyle thing man doing, but a lot of the tunes that I introduced into the game, like sine wave and those kind of things, yeah, I used to implement them thing in my beats before, and it all that helped to give to change the sound of Bouyon into what happening now. That kind of it less sounding like natural into like natural instruments like brass and those kind of things. Synth tones and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that change in it.
So, well, at least one thing we can say for right now is that Bouyon has definitely evolved over the years. It has definitely developed, into something that is, like you rightly said, it's internationally recognized now. And, when it comes to technology, you mentioned a few of the softwares that you worked with in the past, like, Fruity Loops and the others. But what was technology's impact in Bouyon in terms of how it was made? What happened with that?
Well, for me, I never had no instrument except my computer. So everything technology was it. So all samples, tones, everything is on that. So technology definitely made an impact in the music, because everything now is electronic.
Right.
You're right. And it also opened the door, you know what I mean, to more people coming into the game. Because what you find now is equipment are getting cheaper, computers are getting cheaper. Everybody can afford a computer now. Before, when computer used to be how much money, and equipment used to be how much money, software how much money. Now you can just buy a computer and get a local program. You can even crack that. Like for me, my dad used to use crack thing. I couldn't afford to buy them thing.
Right.
So I used to download my bootleg software and thing, but it worked for me until such time that now I can buy my thing now, but before. But so yeah, technology it helped it helped the game to expand. I would say by removing by making them open. It opened up it removed the what you call it, the gatekeepers, right? And it made it more free. So anybody can come into it. So yeah, it definitely helped the music as well.
All right. So let's get into, defining the sound. So we mentioned some things that were considered non-negotiables in the past. And over time, we changed up and we threw up a little bit. So it became something else. But when it came to, you producing the family song with Skinny, Fabulous, Masha Montano, and Bungie, that was a great track. It did a lot of things for us. Is that something that you would consider something like an in-between between Soca and Bouyon? What exactly is it?
All right. That's a good question. So there are various components in there that we have to address. Again, going back to the question, what is the song? How do you define Bouyon from a sound standpoint? Right. So we talk about the beat. So the beat is Bouyon 100%. The artists are not traditional. They are not Bouyon artists. Obviously, Skinny Fabulous, Marshall and Gallon, them they're not Bouyon artists.
Right.
They are soca artists.
Correct.
Right. So I would say Bouyon family is a combination of both. It was an experimental, but you see, the thing is, the reason why family end up becoming and why it's sounding the way it sound and all these things like that is really because of my experience working with people in the region. You understand? So one of the things, like I said to you, I wanted Bouyon to be international, and to me, I couldn't achieve that just staying in Dominica.
You had to go outside.
Yeah, you understand? Because I was seeing things from a Dominican perspective. I was very Roseau in my mind. My mind was very, very Roseau. But then when I started working people outside, I started to get a different opinion. I started to become more balanced. I started to become more centered.
Yeah, the spectrum broadened.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, I'm a quicker learner. You understand? AI not good like me yet, You understand? So when I go on there as adapt, I say, oh, that's how it works. Okay. Now, I am also very much aware of the struggles that our artists and the music in general had in Dominica, because Bouyon music wasn't always like how it is now,
Right.
There was a certain time when Bouyon was just,
it's just always in.
yeah, you check what I'm saying. So we're talking about them time there, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I had to find a way now to get the music to be more lucrative. You know what I mean? From a financial standpoint, that to work. I want the music to be big. I want it to be international. I want to get a Grammy. Yeah, I want those kind of things. That's where my head is. You know what I mean? So when I started working with people in the region, like I said about working in Guadeloupe, one of the changes that was made by myself was removing the band chorus. You see, in Bouyon, look at that now. Bouyon hardly even a band chorus today. You understand? So another move now that I make now was bringing Bouyon to the rest of the islands. Like that, I open up the door, the gate. I mean, I wasn't the only person doing it, but I guess I was the most significant person doing it because I had the most success doing it. You understand? To places like St. Lucia, Vinci, Grenada, Barbados, and Trinidad. You know what I mean? To me, it was like I wanted to sell the music. I wanted new markets for the music and stuff like that. That's where my mind was and stuff. So over the years, because family was in 2019, and we're talking about years of working in the region and stuff like that, that end up leading up to that point. You understand? So I learned that there's a desire and there's an appetite for Bouyon music out there. It's just not in the way we have it here. You understand?
Got you.
So I had to integrate what they were doing over there in their islands to what done to me what Bouyon music is, because I already know what Bouyon music is already. To me, I'm the master of Bouyon, you know, in my mind. That's how I know it from my, because I mean, come on, Dada, that day.
After all.
You know what I mean? That is me, and record speaks for itself. Eh?
I mean.
Right. So to me, I'm the master of Bouyon. You know what I mean? So I had to take the music and then go there and take what they have over there and put it together.
fuse it.
Yeah. Right? And that's what I did. And I've been doing that. And then Family was just an example of that. And then Family was a bomb monster. Family was the biggest song in the Caribbean, together with Coffee Song Toast in 2019.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Correct.
Right? So it did, and it worked because it made me feel like I'm a good scientist, right? To be able to do something like that just in my own inspiration, in my own head. And I was like, well, let me just, you know what I mean? So that was good. That was good work, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, so I guess what it is, we have to understand the mission and vision.
Yeah.
We have to understand, you know, what we want the Bouyon music to do.
Yeah.
And in order for us to get it anywhere, we need to understand a plan. We have to understand strategy, and you know, that was the strategic, you know, output there. You know, to put it out and make sure that other people can appreciate it, just like we can.
You know, I just to say, you know, that I'm happy that you mentioned strategy and planning, because that was something that, in my opinion, that Dominica didn't used to have. In the Bouyon never used to have a lot of planning and strategic planning at all.
It was vibes.
Yeah, just everybody's doing their thing.
Yeah.
But for me now, boy, I'm a winner, you know, I want to win. I like to compete. I like to, you know what I mean? I like to grow. Like I said, I want to get a Grammy, and not just for myself. I want our island to be able to be recognized on that level. You understand? And so before, what I used to do now, when I saw my inspiration and them, and when I used to get results and stuff, I used to try to bring it to people in the fraternity, in the Bouyon fraternity in Dominica. And not for them, man, they wasn't warm to the things. Everybody was like, they might never care, you know. Is what it says, when they see the success of it, and now everybody care about it. But that's how it goes, right? It's good to be the pioneer.
Indeed. And with that, there'll be a lot of sacrifices, a lot of sacrificial lambs too. But you know, I mean, if you want to get somewhere, then you have to do something. So I understand that. When it comes to, you know, traveling across the Caribbean, you know, how does that look like? You know, because you did have the opportunity to, you know, look on the outside, you know, bigger markets, bigger regions, bigger territories, you know, more population, to understand what the feeling was like when it came to Bouyon music. But do you think with that collaboration that the message got lost? Do you feel like people were like, you know, we think it's soca, or we think it's something else? How do you think that, you know, they were able to identify it as Dominicas?
Well, I mean, it always was a Dominican project, but it's a collaborative project. You know, we have to understand that term, collaborative. You know what I mean?
Working together.
Yeah. So it's not just a Dominican project. You know, it's a Bouyon rhythm. You know, and it fits in both markets. It fits in the Dominican frame, and it also fits in the general soca frame. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say anything got lost. I would say that an opportunity was created for us to sell what Bouyon is to the world. Because that's what was happening when I was in Trinidad. When Family was tearing up Trinidad and the world. Because Family didn't tear up Trinidad alone, you know. Family was the biggest song in the whole Caribbean, you know.
It was.
Yeah, at the same time, it's not to say like usually you hear a song big in Trinidad and then after it grew, it trickled down there and there. No, Family became big everywhere, you know what I mean, at the same time. So when I was in Trinidad, I remember doing a few interviews on TV, on national TV and stuff, and then they were asking like, you know, what is that type of song called? They didn't say it was soca, you know. They asked what type of song was it called. So I said, this is Bouyon. And they asked, Bouyon. What is Bouyon? You know, I tell them about, you know what Bouyon is. I tell them about WCK and stuff like that, and Balance Batty and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, an opportunity was created for us to sell.
Right.
Bouyon. the wider market. So I don't see it as anything was lost. I just feel like we just needed to sell more what the music was.
To different
Yeah,
markets.
that's it.
Diversify your market.
Yeah, that's it. We still need to
Got
sell.
you. Got you. So when Bouyon started, entering the French territories, we mentioned the English speaking, you mentioned Trinidad, Barbados, Vinci, and Grenada. But what about Guadeloupe and Martinique? What did that look like from your perspective?
Well, but that's interesting because Guadeloupe is like a second Dominica as it relates to Bouyon, As a matter of fact, in many cases, Bouyon is bigger in Guadeloupe than it is in Dominica,
I believe you.
Yes. Anybody can tell that. Triple K can tell you that Triple K was once the biggest thing in Guadeloupe. Like, Triple K was the biggest band, most popular group in Guadeloupe at one point, We're talking about like from 2009, 10, 11, 12, them time there. It was huge in Guadeloupe, playing Bouyon. You know what I mean? So Guadeloupe is like I said, second Dominica. And Dominica and Guadeloupe has a very close relationship culturally. Yeah, Dominica and Guadeloupe is very close. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I believe Dominica has a very strong influence, cultural influence on Guadeloupe. You know what I mean? Like how we dress and all those things like that. Dominica has influenced that kind of vibes in Guadeloupe a lot. A lot of Guadeloupe like to be like Dominicans, just try and talk like us.
True.
You understand? And things. So there is no surprise that Bouyon music is so popular over there. So in Martinique, it's big, but not as big as Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe is like DA Part 2. Yeah, and so Guadeloupe is also one of our main markets for Bouyon. And I think we need to, and we need to pay attention to Guadeloupe to take more advantage of the opportunities we have in Guadeloupe. Yeah.
All right. So where do you say you would draw the line when it comes to influence versus and origin?
Right. That's a good question too, because over the years, like I always just say about the influence Dominica have in Guadeloupe and Bouyon being so popular in Guadeloupe, it obviously give rise to that whole phenomenon of them having their own artists and their own version of Bouyon. You understand? Because I produce a few top artists in Guadeloupe already, Bouyon. And one of the things that I remember one of them tell me straight to my face, one of the things they want to do is they want to learn to play Bouyon live. They just cannot play it because it's like Dominica have a way, man. It's just a thing about us, how we just play. They just can't play the Bouyon like us, no matter what. So I remember they said that they wanted to be able to replicate the music and stuff like that. So, but in any case, they have been trying to do their own thing, and then it's sounding a bit different from Dominica, what Dominica type of Bouyon is. So there's a few artists that they have a Guadeloupe influence as it relates to their sound on Bouyon than, like, for instance, if you look at let me see if I can give you an example. Like you see like it's Little Boy. Little Boy Bouyon doesn't sound exactly like the Bouyon that Triple K makes.
No.
Right? No, it's different. And Little Boy has that influence of the French. It's a bit different. So, but both of them works, they're still Bouyon, because that's how it is. Everybody comes in and they bring their own ideas. Everybody have their own inspiration, you know what I mean? And it's wide like that. So we have to be able to accept the same way Bushton was able to do the record thing and stuff like that. I was able to do my own kind of sound and all things like that. So he Little Boy coming for another kind of sound. You know what I mean? And it works because see how he did someone else.
Right.
So it works. They all works, So that's what Bouyon is a vibrant element from Dominica. I don't think Dominica really understand the magnitude of Bouyon, You know what I mean? Bouyon is national treasure, We're like oil,
Of course, you have to protect it at all costs.
That's all oil, you know what I mean? We have here, our crude oil is Bouyon, So we just need to, in my opinion, be open-minded to everybody's interpretation of the music and welcome people into it because the Bouyon is 40 years or 40 something years old now, but Bouyon is still a very young music. You understand? And there's a lot of development that needs to happen to the music, just like any other music. And we just need to have be open-minded to these various sounds, and what works will work. And at the end of the day, Bouyon is once representing Bouyon, that's the most important thing, It works for us, it works for us. It's good business.
Indeed. So I know that you're still, doing music. I know that'll never stop. That'll never stop. Well, what are other producers doing right now that, excites you?
The innovation, man. The guys are innovative. Like I said, everybody has their own influence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So guys have there's a lot more of that trap type of bouyon, which I find is interesting. You know what I mean? So I like that. It's inspiring. I remember what I just tell you, when I like something, it becomes one with me. So them young producers, watch yourself, They'll feel they can come and take my spot, my one king. You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah, I like the fact that they have that difference in terms of what you call it, their influence, because they grew up in a different time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's to me it's fascinating. Once again, so I just like the trap influence. I like it, and I like how they are free to express themselves. Because art really is free expression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like that as well. So it just showing us, how far the boundary can be pushed. And yeah, so to me, it's like discovery right now. We're in a state of discovery with the music.
So do you think that, I know that one of your biggest mission is to make sure that Bouyon gets the recognition it deserves internationally. Where do you think we are with that now?
Yeah, man, we there, we there, but I think we need to do more in terms of claiming the music. I think Dominica as a whole, and I think from the administrative standpoint, like the government, the government need to look into that and really look to claim the music more. Bouyon is, like I said, is national treasure.
Yes.
It's more than just a song on the radio or rhythm. It's an identity. It's
Indeed.
culture. You know what I mean? And the world right now is getting interested and hype about a little island in the Caribbean between Guadeloupe and Martinique. Its population is 70,000 people, arguably.
Arguably.
Like that. Like I seen people from Ghana and from the Congo.
Yes.
Playing Bouyon. You know what I mean? And so that is something that we really need to look at. We need to really pay attention to that and find ways to claim Bouyon music. Yeah, make it our own, man. Trust me.
So what do you think is next for Bouyon music in terms of future plans? What can we do, or what would you suggest that we do to make sure that Bouyon continues to grow and evolve and get that reach that we need?
When you say rich, you mean money rich or distance?
Well, all types Hollywood.
So for the first reach, REACH.
Yes.
Right. So for that reach, I think it goes back to claiming. Because Bouyon music gone already. Bouyon music is bigger than Dominica.
Yeah.
And I want to say something that Marshall said in 2019 when Family was also a historical song for not just for Dominica, but for Trinidad and for Soca in general, You know what I mean? So you see your family make history in Bouyon.
Yes.
It make history in Soca. It make history in Dominica. It make history in Vinci and Trinidad. You know what I mean? So Marshall I remember they were asking him, because first time a song with a trio was competing for a road match with one Vincentian on it. And then there's an issue, where they get clarification as to whether the song could be eligible to compete for a road match officially. All these kind of things was going on. So anyway, during that time, the Marshall was in the interview, and Marshall was saying something that right now, at the time, you're saying that Trinidad need to understand that soca music is bigger than Trinidad. You have to free it, let it go. You know what I mean? Because the world right now wants soca music. So it's the same thing for Bouyon right now. Right now, in terms of the REACH, to your question, Dominica need to be more open-minded and more inclusive and free the music. You understand? And then we will see, like I said, there are people in Côte d'Ivoire, in Ghana, in Congo. I see Molly do a Bouyon song.
Yes.
Right, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Bouyon music is gone. So what we need to focus on now is claiming it. We need to do things to, because Dominica is the only place that can validate a Bouyon. Like how Jamaica is the only place that can validate reggae.
Right.
Understand? Right. So we just need to put things in place. I have some ideas. That is for another discussion. What needs to happen there in that regard. But what we need to do is to put things in place to claim the music. One such thing we can do is at the port of entry to the country, we need to put this. As you landed on the plane, you see a big billboard saying Bouyon Country. You understand? We need to do that. Because that shows that we are claiming the music. Everybody that comes in, some people are like, what is Bouyon? And who doesn't know,
Yeah.
you have a chance to tell them about it. You get what I'm saying? It's more than just like I say, more than just a song and more than just a party. You know, we have to start making it something tangible.
So
I know, don't know. Let's talk about the rich part. RICH.
yes, let's get there. How we gonna get to the money?
To get to the money sales, we have to sell it. So everything is about letting it go. The more we let go the music is the more money we're gonna make. The bigger the market, the bigger markets the music get into, if you and have strong influences in there, is the bigger the music going to get, and the more money we're going to make. You know what I mean? So that's how the RICH going to work. And guess what? They're going to do wonders for our GDP in Dominica. Just imagine, you know, that the amount of people that will come to Dominica just for Bouyon music.
And that is what we've been seeing. As you know, as a feta myself, I've been noticing that people are coming in not because, you know, they want to see our beautiful waterfalls as well.
Yeah.
You know, but Bouyon is what is drawing them.
Yeah.
They want to come to the source then, you know, to hear it from themselves, you know, hear it authentically. Because I mean, they can play it over there in their fetes and parties, but it's not the same as when you come and you see them and perform it live, and you feel it bass in your chest, you know?
It's a lifestyle, it's a culture. Because people come into Dominica not only just, as you say, for the our vegetation and the water and things like that the creators bless us with.
Yes.
Right? But also people come in there to experience what them man singing. Like just like how Bob Marley. I remember one time the Jamaica government put out a report saying they had a record number of tourist arrivals. I can't remember what year it was, but they said over 1 million people came into Jamaica for that year. And what most people come into Jamaica for what? Because Jamaica is the land of Bob Marley, the land of reggae. You know what I mean? Bob Marley have a picture where he have a big spliff in his mouth, marijuana band, but that is one of the most popular teas. People does the souvenirs that people have selling all over the world. Everybody know Jamaica synonymous for ganja and reggae music and stuff like that. Even if ganja is you know, we have it political thing about it. But you get the point. You know, is the culture people come in. That's how powerful music is. You get what I'm saying? So Dominica is the same thing. People come in, Bouyon music is opening Dominica up to the world right now. So that's already RICH part going to happen. Because the more people get interested in the music, the further the music go, the more money the artist is gonna make, the more money they can demand, the more sales going to go up, the more we can sell things like merch, the more we can sell the country. It works all around for everybody. It's
a win-win.
Yeah.
A win-win situation. But you know, even with those you know, win-wins, do you think that, you know, it will make Bouyon music at any point vulnerable?
Yeah, because anything that is valuable needs to be protected. You know what I mean? So that's where we have to really collaborate with the government again, because like I said, Bouyon music is national treasure.
Yes.
Bouyon music is just like oil, like crude oil. Or if let's say today you can dig you have a yard or whatever, you dig and you see something in that, hey, what is shining so now? Let's when they go and test it, they see it's coltan not there. You know how much a coltan or iridium coltan is the one of the minerals they're using to make the processor for the phones and stuff like that. Everything is extremely valuable. Or you have the thing that they're using to make the battery. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. The government going to have to come in to protect it. You know what I mean? So Bouyon music deserves the same type of protection because it's national treasure.
For sure. So, you know, you are one of the most credible voices when it comes to Bouyon music. I mean, you have done a lot of work for the music over the years, and you have really been one of the pioneers, like you rightly said, to be the one to drive it forward, with that strategic mindset. What advice would you give to our upcoming artists or upcoming producers, anybody that works really within the Bouyon industry?
First and foremost, learn the formula, learn the original formula, because you cannot change something without you learn the original form. You have to know it in its first format in order for you to be able to make adaptations to it. That is one. Education is the second one. You have to learn about what you're doing, learn the technical aspects of it. Quality is key. You know what I mean? I know we live in a time of social media where there is no gatekeeper like on radio or program director to decide what songs plays on the radio or not. You can just make any song you want and
Post it. Yeah.
post it on social media. You understand? But so that in and of itself can be a little kind of way because everybody just doing what they want. So there's no quality control. So I would advise guys to learn as much as they can to, and practice, help to, practice is important to sharpen your skills. You know what I mean? So so the education is part of it. Number three, the business. Music is a business, it's a career just like any other line of work. Music is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, every year we hear how much money Spotify paying out. Spotify paid out like what, like $100 billion for 2025 and stuff. So how much in that 100 billion we getting? You know what I mean? So we have to learn music business and stuff like that. Understand the whole legalities of it. One of the things that a lot of the young producers, I will say, doing now that can be considered reckless is all of the sampling that they're doing. It's extremely reckless. Gone are the days when Bouyon music was a thing that nobody didn't listen to. Now Bouyon music viral every day on TikTok and stuff like on social media. You know what I mean? So all that sampling thing is very dangerous because you sample somebody's work and then you generating revenue from it. That is corporate infringement.
Right.
That's a lawsuit right there on you already. When they come to you now and they want their money and they want to sue you and things like that, you're going to be like, but what I do? And you don't got that. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, right?
Yeah.
So I would have advised guys to, exercise restraint as it relates to sampling. Or if you want to go the route of sampling, then you have to go through the right channels and do it the right way and get clearance for the samples before it is published. You know what I mean? Because we can give the example of Burna Boy and Last. And his producer, not him, but his producer sampled that song of Tony Braxton.
All right.
And even our voice is in there. You know what I mean? And then they took all of the royalties for that. You know what I mean? So, and Burna Boy is a big artist. So one could say that, they could have negotiated something, but guess what? He was liable. He was at a disadvantage in that negotiation. So sampling is not a good idea. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I would advise that I give guys.
All right. So I know that you mentioned earlier that what we need to do is claim it. We need to make sure that as soon as somebody comes in the airport, I hope it's on the plan for the international airport, that we can put a big sign that says that this is Bouyon Country.
Our PM is artist,
It's true,
So the man in that already.
It's true. I mean, so he, of all people should know.
Of course.
That he should do something like that. But what else do you suggest that we do in terms of claiming, Dominica as the land of the Bouyon country? What else do we need to do?
I just want to touch back on that thing about the PM being an artist. That was one of the things that helped propel Bouyon, the fact that the Prime Minister
co-sign it.
Yeah. That really helped the music. I tell you that for sure. You know what I mean? So, to your question, what else can we do? Well, I think really it's a responsibility and a duty of all Dominicans everywhere, even in the diaspora, to sell our culture, which is what they do already. You know what I mean? but really it's about making it fun to be Dominican. Really, that's a good question. As I'm thinking about it, things coming to me. Um, we just need to look see the big picture in that. You know what I mean? Um, Dominica has a lot to offer. You know what I mean? So we have to look at it from that standpoint. And the people, Dominicans are already bad by the music already, because you see them on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So
Ready to go to war.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Another thing too, and I have to big up the Dominicans in general for that is over the years Dominicans never slack on Bouyon. Dominica was always 100% Bouyon for Carnival every time, even when Bouyon wasn't as big as how it is now. But Dominica never slack out from the vibes, from the Bouyon being a main Carnival consume music in and things. So that's more than I can say for the other islands. The other islands, boy, you mad. All kind of music was played in the Carnival. In Dominica, it's CK, Triple K, and
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. So so it kind of kept the music what you call it I call it like concentrated. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? But so one of the ways we can claim it again is by merch. Merch. We should have merch selling on Amazon, things like that. No man, that's how we can claim it. Like I said, I have some ideas. I just
Yeah, we could even make a Bouyon dictionary, all of the things that we learned.
exactly.
All the things that we learned, when to use this, when is it okay to say chugos?
That's a fantastic idea, because now, just like how the Jamaicans have their way they just talk and their sayings and thing, and we even know it in Dominica.
Yes.
We should. That's a good idea, man. I like that. That's a very good idea. The Bouyon dictionary, the Bouyon lingo,
Yeah. Yeah.
man.
And we could sell that on Amazon, we could sell it everywhere, and people can, it will tie back into what you're saying, it will make Bouyon definitely inclusive. So people don't feel that it is just a Dominica thing. We get it across and they can, better relate to it. And who knows, that may just, open up the market so much more, understanding what those terms mean, when we say certain expressions. And I don't know if we can do videos of little mannerisms too, because with the sayings, there's body language that follows. So how do we
100%.
get people to buy into that?
That's a great idea. I didn't think of that one for sure, but that's a very good idea, because being a fan of music, especially Jamaica is one that is very popular for that. You see how they just talk. Yeah, Jamaica. We even know what certain things mean when they say it. Well, that is Jamaica lingo.
Yes.
We know that because of the cultural influence that Jamaica has on us.
Right.
You understand? So the Bouyon lingo, as you say, the dictionary or something of the sort, something like that, could definitely work in that regard. Because you see, we making music is for expression, like I said. So we just making music the way we talking.
Yes.
And sometimes that's one of the things people used to tell me before, in the region, like they don't understand what we just be saying. They doesn't understand it, and then I checking, well, it's slang, we really sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of the time it's slang. So that's a very good idea. So that's a good way. But anything to branding is that come for branding, right? So branding, we just need to think of creative ways to brand the Bouyon and make it synonymous with Dominica. Whenever you hear Bouyon, you think about Dominica. So that's from image. Image is important. You know what I mean? So, yeah, merch. Like even when we do ads on at some point when we're doing ads in other places, we need to use Bouyon. But when, like, for the festivals, I don't know how they necessarily just do their ads and stuff overseas for Crew Festival or whatever. Even for Carnival. Welcome to Dominica, or come to Dominica for Carnival or for Crew Festival, whatever. It should be Bouyon in there.
Strictly.
Yeah, it should be Bouyon in there, because that's what we're selling.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's another way we could do that.
For sure. So just, to close us off, all in all, what would you want to tell the people, in terms of celebrating Bouyon music? Because like you said, we've been doing this for a while. We've been doing this for over 30 years now. So, what do we do to commemorate, where we are right now? Because I think where we are now, we're in a a proud moment. Bouyon is being celebrated everywhere. What would you, or how would you like us, how would you like to see Dominicans or people in general celebrate Bouyon?
Well, I think Dominicans are doing a good job at celebrating Bouyon. You know what I mean? Supporting the artists, coming out to the events and stuff like that. That's where we have to do it first and foremost because we don't want to in money, invest money in Bouyon music and then they flop in and thing. Then they're gonna say all Bouyon have is hype.
Yeah.
So it's not really lucrative and the money is a business. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Supporting the events is important. Supporting the artists, buying the music, sharing the music, selling the artists to people, everybody has a friend. You know what I mean? It really is, like I said, it's a responsibility of Dominicans to sell Dominica, and that is Bouyon music falls under that, and all the artists and the practitioners in Bouyon music falls under that Dominican umbrella. You know what I mean? Right now, Dominica have more to sell than River and vegetation.
For sure.
Whereas there's Bouyon. You know what I mean? So Bouyon has done a lot for all of us, and Bouyon has a lot more to do for the country in general. Bouyon is a gold mine. Bouyon, in and of itself, can be a multi-million-dollar industry happening, functioning in Dominica. You know what I mean? I can talk about the economics of that, so much the economic benefits of that from now until next year. Because there's so many benefits in that thing. And we're not just talking about because I like Bouyon, we're talking about strictly business. Business people can understand that kind of language there. You know what I mean? Like I said, the GDP of the country, Bouyon will significantly increase or can significantly increase the GDP of the country. You know what I mean? Dominica is a factory, and we are the ones that approving and validating anybody that wants to do Bouyon music. You can
Certified. We're the certifiers. Yeah.
certify that thing. You know what I mean? And all them thing comes at a cost. You know what I mean? So we are in an advantageous position in that, and we have to use it. I always learn in business, anytime you have leverage, you must use it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we just need to look at it from that standpoint, business, and then let's do the right things. But first and foremost, we need to always remember that we have to come together to do it. I can't do it on my own and for myself. Neither can anybody else do it on their own and for themselves. We have to come together and do it together as a whole. A Dominica, Bouyon is Dominica and Bouyon. Bouyon is Dominica and Dominica is all of us own, right?
Yes.
Well, something I saw St. Lucia did, right, was a couple years ago, was when Nursery segment was becoming popular, the government had put together a tour, and then they had the Nursery segment artists touring around the world and selling St. Lucia Carnival and stuff like that. So that's something that we can look into Bouyon right now. Another thing that I would that we have to take a look at is ease of traveling.
Yes.
Yeah, the traveling part of it, because we need to sell. And we cannot sell if we just here in Dominica, you understand? So we have various tools that that can be bestowed upon us as the professionals of this industry that could make it easier for us to move around in the world, But I guess that that's a conversation that needs to be had in a specific forum,
Yeah.
and so on. But yeah, man. But so far, so good, man. Everything nice, man. You know what I mean? Dominica is doing really well. And I'm happy for Dominica, man. Because, yeah, we've come a long way, man. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
even if, and I must say that even if I get a lot of flack for wanting to open up the music and thing, I guess people seeing it now, the benefits of it, and stuff. I don't want to make it about myself, but hey, it's me that getting the interview, right?
Yeah.
Please.
It's your time.
Say it. Yeah, man. That's the vibes.
Okay, so that are we going to get into the fun part. Because Bouyon is fun. It is energetic. It is electric. We want to get into that. So I'm going to give you a couple questions, and I want you to answer me. Like we in a game show vibes.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So Bouyon is a genre or a lifestyle?
Both. I have to elaborate.
If you want to.
It's a genre because it's our own unique style and interpretation of music. So therefore, that makes it a genre. And it's a lifestyle because it's how we are. It's about us and what we do every day, and our experiences is that is what is able for us to create the music and create the identity called Bouyon. So Bouyon is both a lifestyle and a genre.
So, listening, would you rather Bouyon on headphones or Bouyon on big speakers?
Big speakers all day. I'll elaborate again.
No. So, what's something that's happening in Bouyon right now that impresses you?
Impressing me.
Mm-hmm.
I like the vibrancy of the music is that's never happened before. And that's something I always used to dream about. The music being so vibrant. So many people in it and it's happening so rapid and everything is just so fast and just content and yeah. New people coming in all the time with their new perspectives and stuff. So yeah. I like that.
So who's an artist or a band or a producer that's been leveling up lately?
Leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
For an artist, I would say MJ. Yeah, MJ bad. And MJ has been there for a little while, you know.
Yes.
MJ has a song called God Base. When I remember the first
That's the first thing I thought about.
I said, but real Mr. come out with that. That was deadly, boy. I like that. That was wicked. And and MJ, see how he changes the shift gears now. MJ in a different place now with that. MJ. Definitely MJ for that. Band, Signal. Because Signal has been there for a minute and they've already been going through the motion. You understand what I'm saying? And now you can see what the band has blossomed and is
Right.
coming into. So Signal definitely. Producer, Ridge, all day. Because I know Ridge for a very long time. Very, 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 very long time. And Ridge has always been one that is very interested in doing the music and doing what he's doing there also. And to see Ridge move from strength to strength, and even he been a partner with Mosio and Cross the Bridge, and creating somewhat of a label, bossing so many artists like Pudas and Suki and stuff. You know what I mean? That is tremendous. Commendable work, and even bringing various people on the scene, introducing somebody like Fridge Nikita to Dominica, you know what I mean, as a drummer, changing the sound of the music again, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, definitely Rage deserve that. So yeah, Rage.
What's something that's what you're doing better now than it was doing 5 years ago?
Production. When I say production, not really the sound quality now, but in terms of volume. Yeah, the volume of music is far different, and it is more readily available. It's more rapid. And so yeah, that's much better. Okay, it shows it's a sign of life. You know what I mean? And that's some of the reasons why so many people is becoming affected by the music in the region and internationally. It's because of the volume of it. That's another thing too that I used to always dream and hope that we do. Like for instance, Trinidad. I remember before, guys that know, who know, but we saw reasoning before years ago, and then we were talking about every time Trinidad Carnival coming about, it have almost like 1,000 songs for Trinidad.
Yes.
Well, and Dominica is just 5 songs. We just couldn't compete. You know what I mean? But now with the IJ song now, and you see the difference here, that's influence and impacting the market, right? So volume is key. So yeah,
What is Bouyo's biggest threat?
sampling, unauthorized sampling. You see that sampling thing? In my opinion, man should just forget about that. Just forget about that, because that putting us at risk for major lawsuit. You understand? And all we need is just to stumble upon the wrong person,
Yeah.
and that just putting a dent in the music, yeah. You understand? And then the man sampling so much in that. If one person meet that, sometimes you see again is it shows a lack of understanding of music business. And understand how copyright works. Because if you understand it, you wouldn't do it. Because there are publishers, and sometimes it's not the artist per se. Like to say, if it's just name it Chris Brown, it's not Chris Brown and go on YouTube and see that. He's publisher. Chris Brown probably don't know who his publisher is or who's the agent. But he just know that his music, because he's signed to this label and he have a publishing company, their job is to protect the rights of their client.
Yes.
You understand? And then they going to go there and they have a database and all. They might have all kind of mechanism to protect those things. And then when you come, I mean, not them alone. I mean, I have it too because I also have a publisher and stuff like that. So it's free to everybody. Anybody can get a publisher and stuff like that. So, so when you have the publisher's job is to protect, is to first sell the music of the artist to make them make money, generate revenue. That's one way of generating revenue. And also protect it. You understand? So when they go in the database and they see people now sampling a song of Chris Brown, I'm using Chris Brown as an example, and then it have how much million views on TikTok, then people can say, hey, but what going on here, boy? All right, they send that we did you get clearance for that? No clearance for that. Okay, let's send a lawsuit. Let's send let's let the lawyer deal with that. And then before you know what you can say for that now. When you pull up in your home, make your reading and it become popular, it go viral. You just do that. They do that. You don't have no leverage in that.
Who's the producer that deserves more credit than they get?
Shield. DJ Shield. For sure. Yeah.
Who's a band or an artist you think carried Bouyon through a tough era?
Triple K. For sure. Should be given all the credit for I want to expound. You have to give them the flowers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Triple K has done a lot for the music. When Bouyon went through how many different phases and stages, and Triple K held it down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they never waver and things. So I really want to show them a lot of love and respect and honor them for that.
Who's someone behind the scenes that people don't see, but they should respect more?
The engineer. Because the engineer is what are handling the sound. You know what I mean? So yeah, the engineer.
What is the biggest Bouyon myth that you would want to shut down?
Bouyon is not soca. Okay? Bouyon, c'est pas soca.
Have we know the language?
Which language English and Creole. And I be a little English. Yeah. All right. Okay. Bouyon is Bouyon. Soca is soca. And at times we can really just converge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Bouyon is definitely not soca.
What's one thing that Dominica gets right about Bouyon?
Supporting Bouyon music. For sure. Because Dominica is one of the only islands in the region that soca hasn't penetrated to. Because the Dominicans is very, very patriotic and very closed off when it comes to that. They're very territorial. Mm-hmm.
What's a Bouyon song right now that you just cannot ignore?
Cannot ignore. Well, actually, I've told them, and I'm going to be biased because I'm a salesman.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to put my thing first. Not all the girls in the world. Big boom, you know what I mean?
Shake something.
That's one. And the other one is, all you good? Yes, I.
All you nice?
Yes, I.
All you proper?
Yes, I.
What's one move that Bouyon needs to make next? That one you can't think too hard about it.
What move will they make next? That's a very good question. Next move. The next move should be really about more production, marketing, videos. You know what I mean? More anything to do with sales, because that's what we need to do right now. Sales, really. Yeah. Selling. We need to sell more. And selling means opening up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can't close and selling. You never see no store that close.
And selling.
Right?
It's true.
That's it.
What's a producer pet peeve that you cannot stand?
Boy, when you see man cannot sing, when you see fellas come and you see they sing and they struggling, oh my goodness. Bro, you see flat, oh my God, man, that just grind me up, man.
Get it together.
And then we have to be there doing something like that one part of the song we're recording for a whole long. Man. Oh boy, yeah, that one for me, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that one needs to know.
No, I'd have a problem with I'd have a problem with people that are unable to sing, like you say, like being able, if you can't sing, I mean, it's okay, I can probably help you and things, but if
Yeah.
you're singing flat and those kind of things like that, oh my God, I don't like it. Yeah.
Got it. So, guys, word of advice: if you're going to work with Dada, make sure you can sing.
Practice.
So, Dada, thank you very much for taking the time to chill with us, because I feel like it was an informal, kind of interview. We were just, talking. Thank you very much for what you have done in the Bouyon music industry. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your mission. Thank you for seeing the bigger picture. When it comes to, taking Bouyon on an international level. Thank you for that. And thank you for the work that you are still doing. Thank you for the advice that you just gave out to our, music people, right now. And we just want to let you know that we appreciate you and we want to see, greater, bigger things for Bouyon. I think we're on the same page when it comes to that. So on behalf of Bouyon Pulse, happy Bouyon Day.